Michael Brückner joins me now, and you are Chief Executive Officer and a member of the Board of Directors for Munich Re Investment Partners. Now, I know on your LinkedIn bio you say you're committed to driving change. You've just been talking about financing and accelerating the transition on the ground. You're one of the mainstream guys, so tell us, where are we at with that?
I think, thank you for the question. I think that's exactly, it's a good question to start with, because I think we're also at the start with essentially that journey. So we see a lot in the market happening, but we're definitely not there yet, that we see that gravity is essentially changing. Therefore, for us, it's a mission in that sense that, like with our parent company, we are essentially, we are knowing a lot of this. Our parent company owns a lot of risk, where it's the main business of our parent to essentially assess risk, climate risk, nature risk correctly, and make the right decisions. It's a question of like corporate survival at the end of the day, right? So we got to get these things right, and we are there to translate insights then into investable solutions, which actually take these aspects into account.
And when we think about well, I guess measurability, I mean, the tools are there, but actually getting this so that nature is visible, if you like, it's not easy, is it?
No, it's far from easy, but I think that shouldn't stop us from doing it, because at the end of the day, we got to give a price to things. We got to give a price to things not only as a cost, we got to give a price to things also for nature positive actions. So that means essentially, if you're improving by a certain action, your land, your environment, your agro asset, essentially that should also then not only translate into a cost for you, because you want to do a good, but that should also translate into something which increases the resilience not only of your land, but perhaps also because of there are utilities which are taking advantage of this. There may be other plants or something else which are having effectively an upside from this, and then there should be a correct pricing going on, which then takes all these actions into account, so that we do not leave these things on balance sheets where it actually does not belong.
You said we're at the start. So what's the next step from your lens, your perspective, to move the dial, to get nature back on the balance sheet?
So essentially, like what we are doing, as I said, is like we are already have a good understanding from our research about like what the actual risks are, how they can be modeled, and how they affect essentially mainstream investments. It's, however, not necessarily enough, like that we kind of, are into this and pushing things forward. We need to have a common understanding that this is an actual issue the broader market needs to tackle, and that we have a common view on things. We can agree on certain risk patterns and really then agree on the situation which is currently in existence, because it doesn't help. If you have 5 people looking at the same thing, and then the dispersion of the outcomes is very, very high. We got to get to the situation as for credit rating agencies today. We have like the dispersion of the outcome of ratings is minimal, whereas when you look at, let's say, other type of ratings, especially in the sustainability space, dispersion is substantial, and that got to change. We got to have a common understanding of what we want to do.
And you did set the expectation with the forum to say that private capital won't be available overnight for nature positive outcomes.
Yeah, I think first of all, I guess with the forum, it's great that we bring together so many people with so many different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, you really find out that we're working on the same thing. That's really extremely helpful also to see other initiatives going on and what can be then of help, like also like, in my space or vice versa. And therefore, I think the capital is there. It's not a question of unavailability. It's not a question of lack of will. It's rather a question of a clear path forward, and how to essentially engage. And engaging means pricing.
And the mindset of decision making. So I was going to ask you as a last question, how important is the forum for you? I mean, the debate can be siloed, it can be polarized. So bringing people together to have this conversation, you enjoyed it? you learned something?
No, absolutely. No, for me,
You
this
felt
is
it was progress.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think like for me, it's a really interesting different set of people which you can be meeting here. You know, I'm coming from traditional finance, so like this is like the people I'm usually working with, but really to get all the input also from the ground, from the people who are actually who are kind of owning things where you may be invested. That's great, and this is great dialogue. So therefore, thanks a lot.
Yeah, pleasure, Michael Brückner. Thank you very much.
Thank you.